Time I recognize the gentleman from the great state of Texas, August Pfluger, for 5 minutes of questioning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secretary, is the border secure?
Congressman, as I have articulated earlier in this hearing.
Just a yes or no is fine. Is the border secure, Mr. Secretary, today?
With the authorities and the funding that we have, it is as secure as it can be.
Wow. We all know that this is not a budget issue, that it's a policy issue. Is a terrorist attack inside the United States of America imminent?
Let me assure you, Congressman, that the safety and security of the American people is our highest priority.
Is it imminent?
The same answer, Congressman.
Is a terror attack on the homeland of the United States of America imminent today?
Let me assure you that we remain vigilant.
Do you brief the president? Have you briefed the president that a terror attack on the United States of America is imminent?
Congressman, let me assure you that the safety and security of the American people.
Mr. Secretary, are you the principal advisor on matters of Homeland Security to the President of the United States?
I am one of them, Congressman.
Have you briefed the president that there are known or suspected terrorists still at large inside the United States?
Congressman, let me assure you, as I have previously, that the safety and security of the American people.
Mr. Secretary, I'd like to remind you that you're under oath. Have you briefed the President of the United States that there are people who match the terror watch list that are still at large inside our country?
Congressman, I repeat my answer.
Is that a no? Have you not briefed the President?
Congressman, I have briefed the President.
Mr. Secretary, let me ask you a question about your previous testifying in November. And I asked you then, I said, is every single person who matched the terror watch list, have they been apprehended? And you did not give me an answer. I'll ask you again. Those that have matched the terror watch list, that have attempted to or have entered this country illegally, are they detained, 100% of them?
Congressman, let me assure you once again that individuals that pose a threat to our national security or the safety of the American people are the highest priority for detention, and we execute.
Are they all detained?
And we execute.
Mr. Secretary, are they all detained?
Congressman?
Because Christopher Wray sat right next to you. He had the courage to answer this question, and he said no. So do you agree with Christopher Wray in his testimony in November of 2023 that not every single person who matched the terror watch list has been detained? Do you agree with his testimony?
If you are referring to the terrorist screening data set, the TSDS, we make public safety and national security determinations.
Mr. Secretary, I think it's very important that you answer this question. The American public deserves to know the answer. Are there people who have matched the terror screening database, the terror watch list, any acronym that you choose to use, still at large and not apprehended and not detained in this country as of today?
Congressman, if we determine that an individual on the terrorist screening data set is a threat to national security or public safety, they are a priority for detention.
I understand they're a priority, but that doesn't mean they're detained. So are you going to testify honestly under oath today? I'd like to remind you, you're under oath while you're testifying today. Are there people still at large that match the terror watch list?
Congressman, if an individual is on the terrorist screening data set and they pose a threat to national security or public safety, they are a priority for detention.
Is our country at risk of a terror attack?
Congressman, we are in a heightened threat environment as Director.
Is that a yes?
We are in a heightened threat environment as Director Wray and I have both testified. And it is therefore why the personnel of the Department of Homeland Security.
Have you briefed the President of the United States on that heightened threat?
Congressman, I have briefed the President, as have others, on the threat landscape that the United States is facing and that is driving the vigilance of 268,000 men and women in the Department of Homeland Security.
Mr. Secretary, you said earlier to my colleague, Mr. Bishop, you'd be willing to share the details on any case. However, you have not. We've been repeatedly asking for those details, specifically asking for details on the terror watch list, and yet your department has not done that. Will you brief us in the next 7 days on the actual metrics and details for the terror screening database and who those people are. Will you brief us in an unclassified setting who those people are? In 7 days.
Congressman, I will be pleased to follow up with you in the appropriate setting.
I yield back.